Alrighty, everybody, welcome. My name is Jonathan Bernasso. I am a solar consultant. I've been in the industry about 6 years now, helped a couple hundred homeowners go solar. And I'm here today with Joe Croft. Joe, what do you do?
I'm a CPA, Jonathan. And by the way, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here. My tagline is I'm the extroverted CPA because personally I am an extrovert. I happen to love numbers and people. So it just
That's
works out.
awesome. How long have you been in the biz?
I've been a tax preparer for over 10 years. And prior to that, was a financial statement auditor. So
Great. Thanks for joining. We're going to try to answer a few basic solar tax credit questions, that federal solar energy tax credits, guys. This can be helpful for both solar consultants and homeowners that are wondering, what the heck is this going to do for me? So a little agenda, a few basics. There is a federal solar tax credit available. It's $56.95 IRS tax form. It's a residential energy credit. In the year 2020, it is 26% of the qualified solar electric property costs. Next year in 2021, it is scheduled to go down to 22% for residential homeowners, and then it is scheduled to go to 0%, so 2022. So we don't have much time left to take advantage of this credit. It is one of the ways that solar economics make a lot of sense for a lot of people. So we'll talk about what is a qualified electric property cost, who qualifies, look at a few examples, and as always, every person is different, right, Joe?
absolutely. Each individual is unique.
Every tax situation is unique. Always consult a professional like Joe Croft. So starting things off, what is qualified solar electric property costs? Just a general statement, Joe, I would say is obviously it's the cost of the solar system that the company is charging, the panels, the inverter, the wiring, warranties, permits. It's all rolled into a price. Let's call it $30,000. So we know that that qualifies for the federal tax credit. Where it gets a little tricky is if there's an electrical panel, circuit breakers that's required to go solar, or if we need to put some new roofing materials underneath those solar panels for that watertight membrane. Do those things qualify? Does the entire roof qualify where there's not solar panels?
Sure. That's a great question. I think there is probably a lot of confusion out there, especially with folks who are able to perhaps get solar panels across their entire roof, or the vast majority of it. I would say that really it's when it talks about property costs, it's really just those specific costs that are associated with the preparation of the installation of the solar system on the roof. So if there are specific areas on the roof that are maybe a little bit weaker that need to be reinforced, those costs would be part of the property costs. But if it works out that you're getting a new roof put on and then getting solar added right after that, that isn't really something that you can say qualifies. That's you're stretching it a bit there and running into area that could be a bit risky as far as claiming it on your tax return. One
Got it.
thing also to point out, Jonathan, is that with the home, it doesn't have to be your primary residence. If you have a rental property and you want to put solar on that rental property, you can do that.
Wow. Okay, great. So jumping into some examples. Example one, we have a single nurse. Her name is Liz. Liz made $100,000. Good job, Liz. Federal
Yeah.
taxes withheld is the 24% tax bracket, $24,000. At filing time, she had no refund and no amount due. So she did buy a solar system worth $30,000. That is a tax credit, federal tax credit of 26%, which is $7,800. So the solar energy credit qualifies Liz for $7,800 tax refund. So just to clarify, Joe, her federal taxes were withheld throughout the year, and at filing time, she's not supposed to get a refund. She's not supposed to owe money. But with this tax credit, she will receive $7,800 income tax refund. Is that right?
Correct. Correct. So this is one of those cases, as we mentioned in the beginning, as long as there's something withheld, which she had money withheld from her paycheck in order to cover her potential tax liability. In the end, she really didn't owe anything, didn't get anything back. Is kind of her normal way of filing her taxes. However, in this year where she filed after adding a solar system to her home,
Mm-hmm.
that tax credit now becomes fully refundable to her because she withheld more than $7,800 throughout the year from her paycheck.
Awesome. Yeah, I think some newer consultants in solar are under the assumption that you have to owe at tax time, filing time, and it's just the way you word it. So that's good information.
Right.
What about Joe and Sally?
Sure. So in this example, Joe and Sally are a married couple. They bring in $50,000, and that's part of the 12% tax bracket, or $6,000. They also, in this scenario, don't have any money due. They also are not getting a refund. However, this past year, they purchased a solar system worth $40,000, and with that 26% credit, gives them a potential tax credit of $10,400. Now, that whole credit will show up on their return, but because they only had $6,000 withheld, they're going to get that $6,000 back. So there may be some thought or confusion or wondering as to, well, what about my other $4,400 tax credit? Well, it's not lost, it's carried forward to the following year. So in the following year, as long as they have at least another $4,400 withheld from their paycheck, they'll get that $4,400 back.
Got it. Awesome. That tax credit sounds like for Joe and Sally, that can really help them, their financial situation, and add value to the house and all that good stuff.
Absolutely. And in their situation, it'll help for multiple years.
Nice. All right. Example 3, Brian. Brian is a single man and he is a realtor. His income after costs, expenses, whatnot, was $150,000. Brian is a 1099 self-employed guy, and he does not pay quarterly taxes like a lot of real estate agents. He pays at the end of the year or at filing time. So 150K would put him in the 24% tax bracket, which would be an amount due of $36,000. Brian bought a modest solar system for his townhome, which was worth $20,000, and that gets him a 26% credit of $5,200. So the solar energy credit qualifies him for $5,200 income tax liability reduction. And so Joe, instead of him having to pay $36,000 to the IRS, he'll only have to pay $30,800, right?
Correct. Yep. So in this case, it's still a benefit to him. He's not having enough of a credit to offset his total liability
Right.
because of the significance of his liability. So he's not going to get a refund out of it. However, as you point out, it is going to reduce his liability. So it's going to reduce the amount that he owes. And anytime that you don't have to pay as many taxes as you originally thought you would, that's a good day.
Exactly, yeah. It's still a benefit. It's less money out of pocket that you would have had to have paid anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Well, cool. So, like we said earlier, every tax situation is unique. Everyone's income, family situation is different. Always reach out to a professional like Joe. We're not CPAs in the solar industry. We can't make false claims out there when selling. So always recommend a professional. Joe, how can someone get in touch with you, or what areas do you cover? What type of tax business do you do?
Sure. So I do individual tax returns. So folks that are married, folks that aren't married, folks that used to be married. I also work with small businesses on their tax returns. Folks who are self-employed. The two easiest ways to get a hold of me would be my cell phone number, which is area code 909-670-2417, as you can see on the screen, or my email, which is joseph@croftcpa.com.
Awesome. And then do you have a certain territory you help? Can you help someone virtually or?
Yes, I can. So I am located in Southern California in the city of Upland. That's where my office is. However, I currently have clients, up in Central California, out in Utah, and I've actually got a couple that have moved out overseas that I help. So really anywhere in the world, if there's a need or a tax question, I'm happy to help.
That's awesome. Thanks so much for joining today. And as mentioned earlier, guys, my name is Jonathan Bernasso. I am a solar consultant. I can help any homeowner in 23 states go solar. I also can visit the home or sell virtually. And best way to get in touch with me is my cell phone number on the screen and in the comments, or my social media page. I hope this was a little bit helpful to solar consultants out there, or to homeowners wondering if they benefit from this federal tax credit and helping the environment with clean energy from the sun. So thank you, everybody. And Joe, thank you again.
You're welcome. Thank you.